Hello and welcome. My name is Christine Dostie, and I am here with Sacred Vitality to talk to you today about your energy and your frequency and what strategies you might be using to cope with the stress and anxiety of your life. If you have been on my channel before, you know that I love to talk about energy, all things energy, and I really am enjoying mentoring with the elements. So stick with me and we'll talk today specifically about how the elements can help you balance your energy, raise your frequency, and just really help you enjoy your life. So energy. It's your vibe, you may have heard, or your frequency. It's how you know if you're feeling good and enjoying yourself, or if you are in a state of stress or overwhelm. When this happens, which it happens to all of us, we all have strategies that we have learned either consciously or unconsciously as we were growing up, and we use them in our everyday lives either to our benefit or our detriment, depending on whether or not these strategies are helpful or unhelpful. So, what are some strategies I'm talking about? When people are stressed, an unhelpful strategy that they feel is to have self-criticism. Oftentimes, that talk inside the head is centered around why you're doing things wrong and how you should think about yourself. And maybe it's, you're an idiot or you're not good enough, or people are going to find out you're a failure, or you're a loser. All these types of self-criticisms are really unhelpful. So working with the elements in this respect is when I like to work with the element of air, which is about your mental body and your mental energy. And I really, when I'm working with air, want to look into the belief structures and the thoughts that I'm using, and then working backwards and reverse engineering to go back to the core of where did that belief come from? How did it get into my body? How did it get into my field? And why am I continuously using this as an unhealthy strategy? And then once I have brought that awareness to the situation, working with the air, clearing it out, if you will, allowing it to blow through, then I can seek what might feel better for myself, what might be more healthy moving forwards. Another unhelpful strategy is just avoiding or using procrastination. Denying your feelings fits into this category. Just wishing the problem would go away and not dealing with it at all. Even certain elements of gaslighting, which people use a lot, is a form of avoidance. If someone is telling you that they're having a problem and you're telling them, no, they're not, or it's not the way they think it is, or not validating your feelings, or you're not validating other people's feelings, then this is just really a tactic to avoid and not actually deal with what's going on. In this case, I would mentor with the element of water, which is helpful to the emotional body, and really get into a space of being able to honor the flow of my emotions, all of them, embracing all of them, doing some shadow work if necessary, to again get back to the essence and see what is causing me to feel like it's not safe to have emotions, experience emotions, honor my emotions, and find healthy ways to communicate and express my emotions. Distraction is another unhelpful strategy that we use to cope with our stress and overwhelm. This might be in the form of watching TV excessively, having sex too much, just to, again, maybe it couples with avoidance, drinking, drugs, anything that you're trying to do, scrolling incessantly on any kind of social media. That is a type of avoidance, but really it is also a distraction. We're filling the time with being really busy, right? It's clutter that is in our life so that we don't have to engage with our feelings or our thoughts, or that uncomfortability that of course comes with stress and anxiety. In this case, I might want to mentor with earth or with fire. When I mentor with earth, I want to get into the patterns of my habits and really look at, why am I going to this habit? Why do I fill my time? Why do I need to be busy? And what can I do to clear away the clutter? And again, this might be fire. How do I want to burn away what is not really inherently my own, And I mean it metaphorically, don't actually burn things down, and just get clear on what it is that I care about and what do I value. And so that way I can begin to work on the boundaries in my life so that I don't need to distract myself or hide away or fill up my time. I can better understand myself and what it is that I want. And so I can, instead of just wasting my time throughout the day, which is how I feel about it and categorize it, and it is useful and helpful sometimes, but if that's what I'm doing as a go-to strategy, then I care more about feeling like I'm getting enrichment from my experience, like I'm able to dive deeper into what I'm doing and experiencing. So for me, that would be looking either at my patterns and my daily habits, my daily routine, and how can I feel grounded and centered, or in the fire element, looking at what do I care about, what might be my purpose of why I'm here and what it is I want to accomplish. All of these, when you shift from the lower frequencies of self-criticism, avoidance, distraction, into possibly engaging in the shadow work, bringing more awareness to the why of what you're doing things and how you're doing things, and then deepening that observation, if you will, and then seeking what I really truly desire, then I can go from the lower level frequencies of trying to avoid and get away and move up to a higher frequency that actually feels like I'm engaged and connected to my life and feeling like I'm enjoying where it's going. Now, again, another one would be perfectionism. Sometimes we feel like we can't move forward until, it's absolutely perfect. This is something that I struggle with a lot. And of course, it's an unhelpful strategy because in the end, it can stop you from doing anything at all because you're not perfect yet, or the situation is not perfect, or the timing is not perfect, whatever it is that you're hanging the perfection on, that's going to stop you, right? Or sometimes I will burn myself out and run myself into the ground because other people can't do it perfectly the way that I can do it. So I'm not able to give the work to other people, to ask for help, to delegate and free myself up. I have to get in there and take care of everything all the time. And that is just one of the very many self-destructive actions and behaviors and sabotagey habits that we can get into, which are also unhelpful coping mechanisms. And that goes back to the, seeking or avoiding or procrastinating. We might be seeking assurance all the time. We don't want others, we do want others, to make decisions for us all the time. We eat too much or we don't eat at all, right? We forget to exercise. We don't have time to do things for ourselves. These are all ways that we think that we're coping with our stress and overwhelm. We think that this is going to alleviate the pain of the stress and overwhelm, or maybe these subtle undertones of maybe I'm not good enough or I don't deserve happiness or calm. But they are unhelpful strategies because they keep us actually locked in that cycle of stress and overwhelm, because the to-do list is never going to end. Helping other people, you will always find someone else to help. There's always going to be another feed to scroll and compare yourself to. There's always going to be something to avoid. There's always going to be a criticism or a judgment that you can find for yourself. There's always going to be no time. And the trick really, when you're mentoring with the elements and raising your vibration, is that you understand, just like the elements, just like nature, there's a natural flow and a cycle. And sometimes you're on and sometimes you're off. And nature doesn't apologize for her seasons. And she doesn't apologize for that resting state before life comes into fruition. And that's one of the things I love about connecting with the elements, is that it reminds us that we too must be in a flow, some kind of cycle where we are gearing up and doing work, and maybe we have peak performance and we're really, producing. And then we have a reflection state where we calm down and get out of that busyness and look back to see what the benefits were, what the results were, what we liked or didn't like, what boundaries need to be repaired, what beliefs or emotions were getting us stuck. And in this way, instead of spending the time distracted and not thinking about it, when we turn that inward, and we begin to create and manifest and bring observation and bring tweaking and bring like let's curiosity and let's try something new, then the vibration begins to raise over the longer period of time, and we don't need to feel connected to the unhelpful coping mechanisms, because now we've embraced more of these higher level and higher frequency and better feeling coping mechanisms that get us on a track of doing, but then also reflecting and adjusting and evolving and moving forward. So I hope you found that helpful. As usual, drop any comments or thoughts in the section below. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already for more tips and tricks on how to keep your energy high and in the flow so that you can create a life that you love. I'm Christine Dostie. I'm a consciousness coach and energy healer, and I'm so glad you joined me today. Thank you so much. See you in the next one.